Ibar, but we're not going to. Is a screen share? I didn't share my screen. We're not going to do that because this is a repeat word, but it's something I promised you guys I was going to go back and give you the visual of it because the visual, most of us are visual learners and it makes it come alive. So today's word is a repeat word. We've been using it. You've seen it before. I just want to put some context behind it today. So this is, can everyone see? This is Sharash Ibar. You guys know we read from right to left. Sharash Ibar. In the English tongue, it would sound like something like Hebrew roots. This is the second generation, the stick figures, and those letters become more abstract and they lose the concrete meaning of the glyphs, and then that's when the text become misconstrued, and that's when you start to have to interpret. And the first generation, the pictographs, what they call paleo, you really don't have to do all the interpreting. The picture is telling you what I'm saying. So these stick figures are moving away from the original text. But our true designation, we are Ibaryam. We are Ibaryam. We're not Hebrews. They didn't understand that first glyph on the right side that looks like the old-fashioned Afro pick, some old generation. That's the new. That's the next generation of the Ha. Remember, the first generation is the man with his hands raised. Now it becomes this Afro pick, and that second glyph that looks like the letter O, that's really the I. But they didn't have the technology to put the iris in there. So now the I look like a O. And then you see the tent, our Ba becomes, I don't even know what that looks like. But you really, if you didn't know our culture, you wouldn't even know what that letter was. And then the head of the man, you see it looks like the English R. Head of the man looks like the English R. And then the last letter there is a suffix. It's the Yah. It became the arm of the man. That became the arm of a man, Yah. So what this is saying is Hi Ibar Yah. Ha is the article the. So in Genesis, that man came back and told Abram the Ibar Yah. He went and told Abram the Ibar Yah, they kidnapped your nephew. But these pagans don't know our culture. They seen the Ha sound and then ran it together Hebrew. They made a new word up. So you're making fun of us for Ebonics. Y'all been doing this because you don't know the culture. There's no such thing of a Hebrew. If you told Moses that you were Hebrew, he would be like, what are you talking about? He would have no idea what you're talking about. There's no such thing as a Hebrew. We are Ibaryam. Anybody have any comments or questions about that?
Just in the comments on the Zoom, It says, this is from Sister Reed. It says, my thing is, they say Jesus is God, but then like to go back to John 3:16 very often. So which one is it? You know, if Jesus is God, how do they love the world and send his only begotten son?
And that's coming from a high school freshman. That's Chef's Reed. You don't have to have a college degree to see this. I've been putting it on Facebook for a couple of weeks now. Religion has just eradicated critical thinking. It's just like you get to church and got the lights and the organ and oh, it's so holy in here, and oh, pastor man, he dressed nice and man, and he get the sweating, and you ain't listening, nothing. This man I'm going to play for y'all, he's saying out of his own mouth, Jesus said that the Father sent him, but he's not saying he's not God. Bro, you just said Jesus said the Father sent him. Bro, are you listening to yourself? This man is telling you he has a father, but you're telling me he's God too. It's just critical thinking is just thrown out the window when you get into these religious buildings, and then you get a little education from them, and you sound so pious, and you dismiss and all these foreign principles that our forefathers knew nothing about. So this is just us getting back to our culture. The word I want to revisit is, you guys know this word now. For those still learning, we start on the right side of the page. So that first glyph we would pronounce is the arm of a man. The arm of a man has the Yah sound for us. Has the Yah sound. The second glyph there is the picture of the ocean waves, and that's our Ma sound. So these two glyphs together, we would just know as Shemitic people, that's Yam, or it could be Yama. Remember, we don't know when to drop the A off. We just don't know until we hear the ancients. So if Moses come, he may say Yama. We've been saying Yam. We do the best we can till we hear the ancients speak. So this is the word Yam, and in our culture, all our glyphs have an inherent. It's not another letter. It's just a sound. We put the A after it to let you know that that's the sound you're making. But we don't have a letter A in our culture. That glyph makes the Ya sound, and then the Ma we just cut the other I off and say Yam. This is the word. You guys know this word. This is the word for day. The text translated this as the day. And Sister Joy shared something with us about the eclipse that's coming up. And I was like, wow, that's profound. And with the Greco-Roman thinking, people are getting confused when they're reading our scrolls. This word Yom that the text translates as a day, it has more meaning than just a day. You guys can add to this. I just did something real simple on the fly last night, but just one way to conceptualize the Yam, the arm of Yah. You work, you move things with your arm. So Yah is moving the water. Yah is moving the water. And the scenario I gave y'all was like the fishermen. The fishermen know they could look at the beach line and they can see the level of the water. They can tell you about what time the day of it is. And they know they have to get back before too long, because if not, if they don't get back in time, they'll get caught at low tide and then they're stuck until the tide comes back up. That's why everything is agricultural. Once we get back into Zion, like that song, and we're back out actually working outside the garden, we're fishing, we'll be more in tune with Yah. And just a sidebar, just coming down my street today, we have a little park. You guys went where we had that barbecue at. So along the park, as I'm driving, coming down the street, I see already is yellow tulips. Yellow tulips is all bloomed already. But I thought we were in spring. They're still in winter. Their seasons are not in line with Abiyah. That's just a side note. But so this is what Yom really means. Yom doesn't really mean day in the Greco-Roman sense. Day for us is dead. We can't see it. We can't hear it. But if you see that Yah is moving the water, and he does it every day, you beachgoers know the tide goes in. Me and my queen, last time we was on your birthday, we messed around and missed our beach day. So we was like, well, we gotta go to the beach before we leave here. So we was like, well, we're gonna go in the morning before it's not crowded. You gotta fight for chairs. And the storm was coming. Remember the storm was coming? So we was like, you know what? We're gonna go before the storm come up. But as the storm, we can see the clouds over the ocean. There's more people down the beach. But those waves were so high, and the tides was coming. We couldn't even stand up, right?
You couldn't stand up.
Well, the wave just knocking you down. That's the Most High moving the waters. And now the pagans come up with systems how to try to track and predict when the Most High is going to start his day. You can't predict when he starts his day. He never told us a day starts right here. No text, no elder says this. Now the wicked Talmudic sages, they came together and had councils. Well, I believe a day should start when the sun is here. I believe a night should start when we see one star. I believe a night should start when we see 2 stars. Oh, my rabbi says we ain't start our night till we see 3 stars. None of these things are biblical. So you don't know Father's ways because we don't have no concrete when does a day start. All we know is Yah is moving the waters, and during this period we're working. We're doing our work, our function. So Yah moves the waters, or Yam. The pagans, all they can say, oh, it's a day. But for us, it's more correct to say it's just a period of time. And the word Yam, we could say Yawam or make it plural, Yamin. Now it's a period of time. How many of y'all have read the prophecies like the day of the Lord is near? in the day of the Lord, in the day of the Lord. So are there multiple days of the Lord? No, he's just saying in this period. And that's what Sister Joy's text brought to my mind. I'm like, wow, when these eclipses happen and these blood moons happen, I don't have no text. So what I'm about to tell you is my conjecture. I believe the Most High is marking his next period of what he's doing on this earth.
I do too.
I can't give you no text. He says that the heavens, he gives us signs in the heavens. I just can't tell you what these eclipses mean. My personal belief is he and his angels are marking. Now we're going to the next stage of this thing. So there's another eclipse coming up soon, and the scientists, they're going to try to predict what it means, and the next one's going to happen and such. You don't know what you're saying. But for us Israelites, these are harbingers for us. Get your house in order, because over and over again, he told us in prophecy, in this day, in this period, the moon should not give her light. So these eclipses is for you and me. Like the song said, hold on. Don't let your flesh, don't let your weaknesses take you out of this covenant, and you done did all this feasting, all this repenting, and you miss it at the end. Hold on. The Most High is giving us signs in the earth or in the sky that I'm starting my next period, my next yom. Doesn't mean that this day I'm going to do this on this day. Nah, I'm just marking my next period. That's my conjecture, but that's what I believe is going on. Anybody have anything else? Leroy,
Go ahead, you go ahead first, bro.
give him a mic. There's another mic out there, y'all. Aga, you gonna monitor the chat for us?
Yeah.
All right. You got a button on that one?
Testing.
There you go.
All right, yeah, because in the simplest form, right? I mean, when you look at it, it's like the work or the arm of chaos or the water, or like the simplest form, right? So I was trying to say before you brought up the mark in the period, and I think it's interesting that you referred to the day of the Lord, because that's going to be a working of chaos. That's going to be him executing judgment, destruction, and so forth. So when they just say day, that don't speak nothing to
It don't get me close to what he's
saying.
At
So
all.
I was gonna say, so what dictates how you perceive it? If they're just saying it means day, what dictates the simplest form of it? Because that's more abstract.
Calm.
Like that's not even, that don't tell you nothing.
Calm. And then there's so many days of the Lord in the text. Like when you start getting to the prophets, I think Micah, all of them say this is the day of the Lord. So it's like, well, is there multiple days of the Lord? No, it's like this is a period. Y'all is going to do this now for Israel. Y'all is going to do this for Israel. Y'all is going to do this for the heathen. It's a period. But why for that?
So I'm gonna try to make 3 different points really quick. Firstly, with Yom, past this firmament is water. So by the Most High making all the luminaries do their work, he's moving the water even up there as well. That's 1. 2, Yom or day or period in your context, the working of the covenant. So the Ma can be the blood or the covenant. With that being said, I agree with what you're saying, Marah, and here's why. The Most High does things just like when he sent the prophets. He didn't just send one. He sent Isaiah. He sent Jeremiah or Jeremiah. He sent all of these men before, during, and, to let the people know, like, look, I'm about to do this.
Right.
It's going to keep getting worse unless y'all turn back.
Right.
Even when we were in captivity, if I'm not mistaken, like Jeremiah, Baruch, and Ezekiel was during the time of Babylon. So, like, the Most High was letting us know, like, look, you think it's bad now, it's about to get worse unless you turn back. But, so to tie that in with what you're talking about with the eclipses, with the blood moons and all of that stuff, because we know the Most High don't change. So the day of the Lord, or Yom Adonai, if you want to say it that way, it's like, y'all ever heard that phrase, it's my time now.
Right.
Like that's what came to my mind whenever I see the day of the Lord, I think the Most High, the Garyam done had their time. It's my time now. So this is the book of Joel chapter 2. And I'm going to just read verses 1 through 4. I'm going to read it out of the Print and Septuagint. So this is Joel chapter 3 in the Print and Septuagint. And it's only 5 verses in it. Shema. It says, and it shall come to pass afterward, and I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And on my servants and on my handmaids in those days will I pour out of my spirit, and I will show wonders in the Shemayim, or heaven, and upon the earth, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and glorious day of Yahweh come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Yahweh shall be saved. For in Mount Tazawan and in Yerushalayim shall the saved one be as Yahweh has said, and they that have glad tidings preach to them whom Yahweh has called. So when reading this, when you see like blood moons, the eclipses, based off my understanding, when I read this, these are warnings, like it's coming. This is what's about to happen. So if y'all remember, because so much happens every day, because we're at the end, these contractions are pretty much getting more and more violent. Everything's happening so fast, people forget what happened recently. So many volcanoes. Y'all remember when all them volcanoes was erupting?
Yeah.
And smoke was coming out like vapor set, because we looking at the blood moons and the eclipses, but like look, the blood, the water turning into blood everywhere, the fires that's been happening everywhere. Australia was literally on fire a few years ago, and then overnight it froze. So all of these things, to your point, Marah, I believe Yom Adonai, the period of the Most High, really has already started.
Right.
But since he doesn't operate in time the way we do, he's outside of it. He does it at his own pace. But to us, it seems a little more longer and drawn out, because we're finite in this corruptible form. But I deal with that.
Sister Barbara Shaw.
Hello? What came to mind to me, speaking of Yom?
You got to talk.
Sorry. In the scripture, doesn't it say a day to us is 1,000 years to Yom?
Yep.
So that's the period,
Period.
So that's what came to my mind.
Period. Yeah. See how when we come together, you see how this Most High's with us?
Right.
All this stuff, we're not getting you emotionally riled up with the A flat. We're just reading the text. We're coming back to our heritage. These glyphs are our heritage, and everything is lining up. It's making sense. And like you said, people are waiting for a big bang moment. So God is here, but he never works like that. When you go back to the Exodus, that white man Charleston Heston with his little Jufro on the movie, he pointed the staff and the water but in the text it says the Father caused the east wind to blow all night,
Just like the low tide.
so us, when we go out camping and tabernacle, most of us ain't sleep. So some of our elders were like, yo, look what's happening. Some of the young kids probably putting their hands in the water. My point being, Abba's blowing the east winds right now, and no one's paying attention but us who are in these prophecies.
Freedom wind.
You got men marrying men. I heard someone say that some man posted he's pregnant, and everyone on Instagram, congratulations. What the reprobate mind? You got AI robots now.
Yeah.
I seen this one image. I was like, Father, this one image. This pig had a human face. This pig was muscular like a pit bull and had a human face. And they've been gene splicing for years. So the times that the Most High told us about these periods, these yams, they're here if you're paying attention.
Right.
They're here. Not just I just seen a little article. It says nanotechnology warfare. Nanotechnology warfare. They put nanotechnologies in that glaze, and they said now they're setting their stage for warfare. They can shut your body down when they want to. So the days, the yam, the period of the Most High that He said these things are going to happen, they're happening now if you're paying attention. If that makes sense. Any other comments or questions about yam?
Yeah. So
You give them a mic so everybody get picked up.
So when you were saying how we measure like period, where we think stuff happened like in the moment, but really he was already at work. It already started.
Right.
Like with the east wind was blowing like through the night, right? In like another context, that same principle, that same thought I was talking about recently with some bros, and it kind of reminded me of the text. I forgot where it's at. They say what's bound in the heavens is bound on the earth, and what's loose in the heavens is loosed on the earth. You know, and meaning like the decision is made prior to it manifesting or coming to play on earth. You know, we was kind of talking about like forgiveness. Like repentance can happen. Ain't no time limit on that. You can repent now.
Right.
You know, but the effects of that repentance don't necessarily have to play out at that moment.
Come on now.
Like David was forgiven and repented, you know, and it was like it never happened. He was saying, an upright man who's always after my heart.
Come on now.
Always did the right thing, right?
Come on now.
Because he forgot about his sin when he repented. But them consequences that followed that sin followed the rest of his life. Like that sword didn't leave his house. So when you think about it from that standpoint, like how he's working and like what's really going on, like it's already set, man. He's already at play. You know, we just ain't seen it yet. That speaks to a whole lot of things. Like when we praying for like the last thing in our land, when you think about like Daniel when he was praying, immediately he sent Gabriel, but Gabriel took 21 days fighting that Prince of Persia. So like he might be thinking, where you at, Most High, man? You ain't responding. I did immediately, but you don't know what's going on in the other realms. You know
Come on now.
That's
why that song "Hold On." Your angels, your Malachims, he's around you. We can't see the angels because of our sin, but your angel is with you, telling you don't fall to that. Well, I love that the brother's song, Eshawn Burgundy, "Not Today."
Right.
Not today. I play that song. It's like, yeah, I'm not falling today. You won't get me today. When we was getting healthier years ago, you know, you fall off the wagon. I said, you know what? I smoked crack last night. I ain't gonna smoke it tonight. So I ate some cookies last night. I ain't gonna eat it tonight. I may have some bad thoughts yesterday. I ain't gonna think those thoughts today. I'm gonna speak life to my life today. I'm gonna walk in the power of Yahushua today. This is by His stripes we were healed. That's not just physical healing. That's in your mind. That's in your speech. We've been renewed by the blood of Yahushua. All praise to the great I am. So,